You're watching Pulse for the 18th of August, and it's time for some World of Warcraft news. In this week's episode, we look at the patch 4.3 preview that was recently revealed at Gamescom. This includes Transmogrification, the mention of the new 5-mans we'll be exploring, the Deathwing fight, and more. We also check out the latest bunch of patch 4.2 hotfixes and Ghostcrawler's latest Dev Watercooler post. Let's have a look. So the biggest World of Warcraft news for this week, definitely patch 4.3's reveal. This was done at Gamescom. Tom Chilton actually spoke quite openly about the patch and everything we're going to be seeing in it. He said that patch 4.3 has a whole bunch of content, including 3 new 5-player dungeons and a new raid, culminating in the Deathwing encounter. That does sound pretty good, and that's a whole lot more than we got with patch 4.2 and the Firelands. We've only got little snippets of information about the Deathwing fight and those new 5-mans, but apparently the Deathwing fight will be the most epic boss encounter to date. It's even said to include a fight on Deathwing's back. Yes, your entire raid will be on Deathwing's back, fighting while he flies through the sky. That sounds like it could be a lot of fun. On the 5-man side of things, we've only been told that one of the 5-man dungeons will be Caverns of Time, War of the Ancients. Sadly, the only other thing we know about those is that another one of them will be old content revisited. Now that doesn't sound that great, but there's a lot of old content that could well be interesting. As to what it could be, your guess is as good as mine. So the other really big part of this reveal came in the form of transmogrifying. Yes, I did say that before, and it's still quite a mouthful. So, you can customize your armor in patch 4.3. The Ethereals have the ability to transmogrify players' armor. Now, there are a few restrictions on this. Apparently you can't customize it into a legendary, and it'll be class specific. So you can't make your paladin look like a rogue, or your warrior look like a warlock, or anything like that. This is a pretty huge change that I personally support fully. Players don't really, right now at least, have a lot of customization options at all. I mean, if you think about it, you're actually forced to wear specific pieces of gear, and if you want to wear others, then it's going to be an RP set or something, and it's not really going to be practical. You can't raid in it, you can't do dungeons in it, nothing like that. Other games usually go by fixing this by adding things like social slots or other outfits that you can put over your gear, so Blizzard is taking a slightly different route. As I said, I like it. I like the fact that we can revisit those old sets that we really liked. I think we're going to see a lot of paladins in Judgment armor, that's for sure. But anyway, check the official preview out on the World of Warcraft community site and let me know what you think. Are you going to be using this feature? Will you jump straight in when 4.3 hits to customize your armor? I think it'll be pretty interesting, and I'll probably be one of the first in line to transmogrify my armor. So other than that, there were a few smaller tidbits. Apparently, come patch 4.3, there'll be a cross-realm raid finder. It looks like a Darkmoon Fair Island is in the works, with a bunch of new activities on it, such as Whack-a-Null. Yes, there's not much information about this one. That void storage that we saw in the screenshot last week was apparently 100 to 150 bank spaces for old gear. This may also apparently be cross-realm storage or multiple character storage. It's not confirmed yet, but it was hinted at. It does make sense, and it sounds really good. I think it's great that they're not just throwing content at the players, and they're actually trying to improve the game with every single patch. Definitely something we've come to expect from Blizzard over the years though. So with all this new patch 4.3 information coming in, are you excited for the patch? If you are in fact one of those that cancelled your subscription recently, will this make you come back? Is it enough to bring you back? I don't know, personally I think this might be pretty exciting. A lot of people are saying Blizzard's definitely on the right track with this patch, and that it might be one of the most memorable patches to date. Who knows? Let's wait and see. Let's hope they reveal more soon. Next up, let's have a look at the latest hotfixes applied for patch 4.2. There are actually a few that are really interesting here. So some of these will be explained a little bit better in the next news segment, just bear with me. Threat generation for all tanks has been increased to 500%, up from 300%. This applies to warriors in defensive stance, death knights in blood presence, druids in bear form, and paladins with righteous fury. Yes, that sounds a bit crazy at first, but Ghostcrawler does explain it pretty well in his latest blog. We'll check that out in just a minute. Apparently Okuthara has come into possession of a larger supply of PvE gear than he previously possessed. Then there were a bunch of Firelands changes and tweaks, and much more. You can check the full official patch notes out below. Ghostcrawler is back with another Dev Watercooler post, and this one's about threat. Let's have a look at it. So first up, he tells us that they had the idea of changing the threat system up a long time ago, they just never got around to doing it. The biggest point he tries to push across here is that threat isn't fun, and it never has been. They want interaction between new and experienced players to be positive. Now that's a pretty tough thing to accomplish. You've always got DPS blaming tanks, healers blaming tanks, tanks blaming DPS. It's just impossible to control. So with patch 4.3, threat won't be an issue anymore. As you saw in the hotfixes before, it's already started. They've already started putting those changes in there. The biggest of the lot being that threat is now 5 times damage, up from 3 times damage. We've been told that all the tank classes will be given new active defense cooldowns, much like the Death Knight's Death Strike. Warriors will probably be getting the biggest redesign, but we haven't been told exactly how yet. Blizzard just don't like the way that Rage works at the moment. I very much doubt they'll be removing Rage though, don't even think about that. As you can imagine, DPSs and healers won't be affected negatively by this, their life will just become a lot easier. So he closes off by saying that they're going to test this very thoroughly on the PTR. They want it perfect before it goes live. But I think this just goes with what they keep saying. Playing World of Warcraft is meant to be fun, and for most players out there it shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be stressful at all. So check this latest Dev Watercooler post out below if you're a tank and you're keen for these changes. It's titled Threat Level Midnight. With that done, let's head on over to the World of Warcraft Smalls. In the Smalls this week, over at the official site, you can read a nice little roundup of the European Battle.net Invitational. You can also check out the World of Warcraft Arena VODs. You can check out the latest winner in the Guardian of Accounts art contest. You can have a look at the latest community news post over at the EU World of Warcraft community site. Then the 2011 Blizzard Global Write-In contest has been announced. You can have a look at a couple of art gallery updates. Thrall Twilight of the Aspects is now available. The Real ID Party feature is now live. The World of Warcraft trading card game set Twilight of the Dragons is now in store. You can apparently get discounted shipping from Figure Prints until the 15th of September. The Samwise artwork store has launched. There's a nice guide up over at Wowhead, getting the most out of the starter edition. Then you can check out Legendary number 39, Dragon Wrath. Then right here on YouTube, you can check out another Firelands boss strategy guide from Jesse over at OMFG Kata. And the Cataclysm Weekly Review is back with episode 21. Last up, over at MMO Champion, have a look at some stats. Characters that reached level 85 in Cataclysm. So sadly, that's all I have for you in this episode. You can check out a couple of World of Warcraft blue posts linked below. They weren't really enough to have a whole section on. But check back here soon for more. Tell me what you think about all the patch 4.3 news we got from Gamescom this week. Most importantly though, happy Warcrafting.